Hey y'all, welcome back to another Mail Out Monday video. If you're brand new here, welcome. I'm so excited you decided to join us today. And if you are returning, welcome back. I really appreciate your support. Today, we're just gonna do a Mail Out Monday video. I do these every Monday, just tell you kind of some of my favorite things that sold over the week. And hopefully that's helpful to you if you ever see any of that stuff out in the wild, that you know kind of what it's selling for, and that way you can decide whether or not you want to pick it up. So we do these every Monday, and today I'm doing more than I usually do. So normally I do about 5, but I had a really good week this week. So I picked 10 actually to talk about, and a lot of them are really decent sales. So I'm really excited to share them with you guys. We're still in the echoey room. We're working on it. I'm just gonna keep apologizing to you guys until we get it figured out. But anyway, if you are brand new and you haven't decided to subscribe yet, please consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you like these videos, consider giving it a thumbs up on your way out. And let's get into today's video. So I'm gonna try and not be super chatty today because this week's second video, if you are new here, I am trying to put out 2 videos a week. So Mail Out Monday is always the first video of the week, and then the second video varies based on the week. And this week, I am excited to say that you will see the first episode of our podcast that will come out on Friday this week. So normally I try and do my second videos on Thursday or Friday, but since we are going to be having the podcast air on Fridays, I figured why not wait and do it all together. So this week's video will hit YouTube on Friday, and it will just be like kind of a sneak peek into what the podcast is going to be kind of like. And I want to say I can't say what it's going to be about because we have a very broad spectrum of things that we're talking about on the podcast. So there's not really like one thing where I can say like the podcast is definitely about blah, blah, blah. I do know that this week we are going to talk Bridgerton. So if you haven't seen Bridgerton yet, I don't know. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I'm forcing my sister to watch it, and we're going to talk about it on the podcast. Some of that is going to air on YouTube, and I think some of it's not, because if you've seen Bridgerton, it's a little racy for YouTube, and I don't want to kind of put limits on what we can and can't talk about just because it's going to be on YouTube for that one episode. So, if that makes any sense. So, we'll see what actually ends up on YouTube, but that will be this Friday. And also, if you want to watch, if you want to listen to the entire episode, I might even break it up into 2 parts. It's not completed yet, so I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I just have kind of ideas rolling around in my head. But if you want to listen to the entirety of that episode or 2, we will be on Spotify and Apple Music and a bunch of other like podcast places. And I'll go over all that on Friday before the video as well. So that's just a little plug for the podcast, and moving on. All right. So this week was really good. I think things are starting to get back to normal. I don't know how everybody's weeks were in like the weeks leading up to Christmas, but I know that mine weren't good. So things are starting to kind of even out and get back to normal now, which is exciting because, like I said before, I'm full-time. This is my first full-time year. So I've only been full-time since September, and so I'm just really learning the way that the ebbs and flows of the market are. So right now we're in the middle of January, and we're starting to get back to what I would consider normal for my business. And so I'm excited about that. With that being said, we're going to talk about 10 items that sold on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari this week and what they sold for. But before I do that, I did want to talk about one real sale. And the reason I'm talking about it is because it's been returned. So I was sad about it because I was like really stoked for I check the Real way more than like normal people should, because they send you an email on the Real when your item has like sold and the money is like definitely yours. They don't send that email until like the return window has passed. So if you don't get the email and you don't check the website, you don't even know that something was sold and then returned. But I check the website constantly. So there was this Burberry skirt that I sent into them. They priced it at $295, and it sold within like 3 days, which I was like so excited about, because anything over $200, you get a higher commission. So I think I was taking home like almost almost $170 off that skirt, and I got that skirt at the bins. So I was really pumped to see it sell that quickly. Unfortunately, it did get returned, and so I'm not going to see that money right away. But I have a feeling it does make me hopeful that since it sold so quickly the first time, hopefully it will sell relatively quickly again, and so we should be seeing that money soon-ish. But that's just like wishful thinking. There's really no proof. But anyway, I was really excited when it sold, and then I noticed it had gotten returned, and it was like, wah, wah, you know? Anyway, but I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Okay, we're going to start with eBay, we're going to go over to Mercari, and then we're going to end with Poshmark, because Poshmark actually woke up this week, which, if you have been following me, you know that Poshmark's been kind of asleep for like the past, I would say 2 months for me. The sales just haven't really been there, and definitely not this many sales in 1 week. So Poshmark outshined eBay and Mercari this week, which hasn't happened since I think the middle of October. So, okay, so on eBay, first thing that sold is a little bit of a lower sale. I've had it for a little while, but again, I got it at the bins, and I love selling belts. It's just a Brooks Brothers regular, like plain brown leather belt, sold for $14.99 on eBay, full asking price. I was glad to see it go. It's super light to ship. Brooks Brothers leather belts are a pretty consistent pickup for me. Like, they always sell for about 15 bucks, and if I can get them at the bins for cheap enough, it's a decent flip for me. Okay, next thing, international sale. So one of the things I love about eBay is that their customer base is worldwide, or mostly worldwide. And I am part of the global shipping program, which means that eBay takes care of all of the international shipping for me. I just ship everything to Kentucky, which is where they give me the label to, and then they handle it from there. And I've not had a problem with it since I started selling 3 years ago. So this was, my friend Kristen came with me to the bin, and she picked this up, and it's something I would never have picked up for myself, but because she doesn't know what I pick up, she was like, oh, this is interesting, what about this? And I looked it up, and it was actually selling for decent money. So shout out to her, thanks so much for picking that up. It is a Disney Infinity lot and case. So I think it had 39 pieces in all, and I don't really know what it's for. I think it's for like an Xbox video game or something like that. I had a lot of interest in that. A lot of people wanted me to break it up and sell them certain pieces, and I thought about doing that because there were so many pieces, and I was like, oh, I could probably break these up into smaller lots, but I really just wanted to sell them all together. So I held off, and it took less than a month for this to sell for $49, and it is going international. I don't know what country it's going to, I forgot to check, but still $49 is a great profit for that. It was like 8 pounds, so I got it at the bins for 8 pounds, probably like 10 to 15 bucks, somewhere in there. But the buyer did pay shipping, so that didn't come out of my pocket, so that's still a pretty good flip. And again, something I wouldn't normally pick up because I sell mostly clothes, but I am trying to get into more toys and hard goods and stuff like that. I'm just like slowly learning what's good and what's not. So I just don't feel like I have a great understanding of what to pick up and what not to pick up yet. So, but it's all trial and error. The same way I learned clothes is going to be the same way I learn how to do this stuff. So, okay, moving over to Mercari. I have had this jacket, I think, since like I started reselling. Like, I was so tired of looking at it, and I really, when I picked it up, thought it was going to be a really good jacket, and I don't know what it was about it, but I don't know, whatever. This is a Volcom ski jacket. It was color blocked, it was white, it wasn't dingy, it didn't have any like stains or rips or anything like that, and so I really, like, when I first got it, I think I had it priced at like $80. Clearly that did not happen, so maybe I did price it too high. I brought it down, I brought it down, I brought it down, I brought it down. 2 years later, here we are. I recently, in the end of December, beginning of January, took everything off of eBay and Mercari and went through and adjusted everything on Poshmark and then cross-listed everything back to those platforms. So I think a lot of this stuff is being refreshed in that way, and I think that that is the reason that this sold. It finally sold for $25 on Mercari. She left me feedback. She loves it. So I'm happy that it went to a home that somebody is going to enjoy it, but I probably wouldn't pick it up again because I've had it for so long, and I don't know what went wrong with that but I mean, everybody has those days, right? Okay, next thing is these Boggs Kids booties. This was a donation to me. I didn't really know much about Boggs, but after looking them up, it seems like they sell pretty decently. These sold for $26 in 2 hours. Listed it on Mercari for 30 bucks, got an offer for 26 within like an hour, and I accepted it, and those were off. So really excited about that. I don't know if it was just like the style that made it desirable, or the fact that the price was right, or maybe like all of that, or I don't know if like maybe just Boggs in general are really sought after. Not really sure, but whatever the case, those sold really quickly. Okay, so that's Mercari. Let's take a deep breath, sip of coffee. Here we go on Poshmark. Okay, first thing to sell that we're going to talk about is this Lily Pulitzer dress. I bought this at a buy sell trade, so I did pay up for it. Had it listed at $65 for a decent amount of time. I think I bought it this spring, so a little bit less than 6 months. It sold on an offer for $54. So pretty good profit for that. Like I said, I did pay up, so it's definitely not a bin find, but still the profit margin is pretty good on that. Next thing we're going to talk about also sold really, really quickly. And again, I think it might have had to do with the price, but I'm going to explain. So it's a pair of Sorel winter boots. They were like green suede. And I had them listed for $35. Someone just came in and bought them outright within the hour. And I priced them so low because they had some like water, I don't know if it's damaged, but like water markings on the suede, and I don't know how to get that out. So I didn't really do anything to them. I just listed them as is. And so I know that if they weren't like watermarked, I could definitely get more for them, but I didn't really know where to price them based on the damage. So I just decided $35 was decent. I bought them at the bins. So again, the profit margin is pretty good. And apparently that was the right price for somebody, because they came in and swooped those up in less than an hour, and I was happy to see them go. So I didn't even have to store them for a day. Okay, next thing, I have 2 of these. One of them is at the RealReal. One of them was at my house. I was testing it out. I originally sent one to ThredUp. It went its whole 90 days and didn't sell. They sent it back. I ended up sending it to the RealReal after ThredUp changed all their policies, everything. So right now I do have one of these almost identical at the RealReal. Again, this is an item I paid up for. This is a Rebecca Minkoff white quilted crossbody purse. And this one actually sold for $80, full asking price on Poshmark as well. I had this, I think, listed a little bit higher, but not much. The RealReal has theirs listed at about $75. So obviously if it sells in the RealReal, I'm going to get a significant amount less for my like take home. So I might pull it off the RealReal and try and sell it again, but I don't know, because again, I've had this listed for a decent amount of time, and I was tired of looking at that as well. So I don't know, I'm on the fence about whether or not to take the second one back, but this one sold for $80 and I was very happy with that. Next thing, this sold yesterday, and it sold at like 11:30 at night, and I have had a ton of offers. Me and this item have been through this roller coaster. It's a pair of Vans and Peanuts collab Pigpen Vans, like slip-ons, but because Pigpen is a dirty character, the Vans themselves look dirty, but they're made to look that way. So I had a lot of questions about like, what's the condition? Are they in bad shape? And it was constantly like, no, they're designed to be that way. So it was very hard to like construe that to people. But eventually they did sell. I had them listed for $65. He offered $50. I was glad to see them go. I did pick these up at the bins. My friend Kristen actually also picked these up, a different trip. So I feel like maybe I should take her with me more often, because she does seem to get these items that are worth like $50 plus. So I don't know. Next thing, I picked these up because they were weird. I had no reference. There's not any listed. Didn't know what to price them at. No idea. They're a pair of K-Swiss lace-up combat boots. And I don't even know if combat boots are the right thing. They gave me like Lara Croft vibes. And they were so interesting that I couldn't leave them there, but I had no idea what to price them at. So I did end up pricing them at $45. Somebody offered me 35, and I took that because again I have no reference and seems like a decent price for me. Again, I got those at the bins, and that's the only reason I picked them up, because like I said, they were interesting to me. But if they were at a normal thrift store, not having the information, I probably wouldn't have picked them up. Excuse me. So I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do with that information. If you see them, I sold them for $35. I don't know if they always sell for $35, but this is my experience. And then the last thing we're going to talk about, this came directly out of my mom's closet. She just, I think last week, went through a lot of her clothes and got rid of some stuff and asked me if I wanted to sell any of it or she was going to give it to Goodwill. And so I told her I would sell these pants. There's like a couple pairs of pants that I was selling, and a lot of them have already sold. Yeah, they're a pair of Lane Bryant stretchy waist, straight leg, dark wash jeans in a size 20 short. So I do think that helps sell it, because I know from experience, being a short plus size person, it is hard to find pants that fit you in the waist and the length. So I think them being a plus size and short also helped them sell. They sold for $22, and they sold, I want to say, within like a couple days. So again, happy with that sale. I didn't pay anything for it. It was a donation. So that has been my week. And there are a bunch more sales that I didn't talk about, but these are the ones that stuck out to me. These are the ones I wanted to discuss with you guys and let you guys know what was going on. So we had one international sale. We had a bunch of sales that were, between $35 and $80, which is a really good, I think my average sale price this week, I didn't figure it out, but I feel like it's probably higher than it normally is, because we did a lot of like higher priced sales. My average sale price usually sits about $20 to $25, and I have a feeling that it was more like $35, $40 this week, which is great. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for today. And Friday we will have our first episode of the podcast, and I hope that you guys give it a listen and enjoy it. Again, like I said, it's not going to be solely reseller related. So I know a lot of times you follow certain content creators just because of the topics that they're talking about. So I will not be offended if you decide that the podcast is not for you. But if you do want to go over there and get to know me a little bit better on things other than reselling, and kind of see some family dynamics as well, I think it's going to be interesting. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. We have no real big like aspirations for it. It's just a creative outlet for both of us. My sister is a very creative person, and we are constantly on the phone with each other talking about all these different topics anyway. So we thought, why not record it and see if somebody else can relate. So that's really like the extent of our expectations for this podcast. But you will see the first episode on Friday right here on this channel. And then if you do enjoy it, I'm going to try and figure out how to link everything in the description for that video if you wanted to jump over there and follow the podcast. It will upload a new episode every single Friday. So we picked Fridays because Fridays are like everybody's kind of favorite day of the week, where you just got to get one more day through and then you're at the weekend. So we figured, why not jump on the Friday train? So anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up on your way out. And I will see you on Friday. Bye!